Welcome, everybody, to the Pro Shop Podcast. I am your host, Cameron Capobianco, also the fill-in voice for the Milton Menace in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And joining me today is Milton Menace forward, the leading point scorer on the team, Holden Rogers. Holden, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
So before we get into your Milton Menace time right now, your commitment to the University of Ryerson, I want to talk to you about your early life. And my first question for you is, what made Holden Rogers want to become a hockey player?
Honestly, when I was about 3 years old, my dad gave me some skates, and he got me going early. My dad played hockey growing up. He loved hockey. As soon as I started playing it, I loved it. I always couldn't wait till next time I was on the ice since I could remember. So it was a really easy start for me. I was always excited to get on the ice young, and kind of started from there with my dad.
And how would you describe your game on the ice right now, like currently?
My game this year is translated to more of an offensive role. I did a lot of work over COVID, just on my shooting. I think my shooting was definitely the number one thing I wanted to work on, and I think it's paid off this year. But yeah, that was the biggest thing I focused on. But my game this year is a bit more offensive. I just know that that's kind of my role as an older guy in the team. I know last year was kind of more of a shutdown guy, bottom six guy, getting in on the forecheck and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
So with that transition from what you just said to how you're more offensive this season, was there any player right now currently in like the National Hockey League, the Ontario Hockey League, that you would say you model your game around? And if so, who would that player be?
So the Ontario Hockey League?
Even the NHL, whichever one you want to compare it to.
Yeah, so I watch the NHL so much. I'm always watching, and I could pick a guy from each team that I like something I see every night. I'm like, I want to start playing more like that. But honestly, Sidney Crosby has been my role model since I can remember. He was the best player that I could ever watch growing up. So he's Mr. Perfect. I'm always watching his games and trying to do everything I can to be like him. I was always a centerman growing up, and now that I'm a winger, I try to watch guys like Mitch Marner on the wing. He's an absolute unreal hockey player, and the way he can read the game, like he doesn't just react; he's always anticipating. And so I try to pick up on things like that. But I'm probably watching Mitch Marner the most right now, especially because I'm a Leafs fan. But
Right on. Yeah. And you know what? Going from a centerman to a left winger or a winger, sorry, let's just talk about that for a second. What was that transition like?
it wasn't too hard. It's a little bit different because at times you'll have a little bit less speed coming out of the zone, depending if you're the guy getting the puck on your half wall and you're not always curling. But you know what, I played a little bit of wing here and there, and I watch a lot of hockey, and I kind of learned that through the just video, and no, it wasn't too hard. But yeah, I was always a centerman growing up, like I said, but no, it wasn't very hard to translate over to a winger.
So let's talk about your career where it started. So you started with the Oakville Rangers, then you went to the Niagara North Stars. You also played for the St. Catharines Falcons and the Hamilton Kilty Bees, I believe I pronounced that right, in the OJHL. How did this help you prepare for your step in the OJ?
I just think through every year of hockey you have new challenges. Like I said, like so minor midget, I didn't get as much ice time. I wasn't really a top guy in minor midget. I was more of like a second, third liner. Just working hard, trying to earn some shifts and earn some ice time. And then you get into midget, and most of the top guys went on to junior, or just the OHL. So once all the top guys moved out, all of a sudden, I think I had a good off season, but all of a sudden I was kind of the go-to guy in Niagara and midget, which was awesome. And I got to play hockey where it was like I can be the offensive guy because I was one of the more skilled guys on the team that year. And then you transition. Then the next year I go up to junior B, and then I'm kind of that bottom six guy again, fighting to get in the top six. So things like that, like you learn how to change your game based on the scenarios and situations you're in to earn more ice time. You you got to create value for yourself every year. It's going to be a little bit different. And so I think that really helped me out as a hockey player. And I think I grew a lot through those years. Um, and then now I'm at a point where I'm a 20-year-old in a junior A hockey league, and I've already been through all of these ups and downs and all these grinds, and you always find a way to make yourself valuable. And I think that's why it's helped me out so much this year.
Right on, absolutely. So you played also a bit for the Brantford 99ers, a divisional rival to your current team, the Milton Menace. What was that transition like when you got moved from Brantford to Milton?
Yeah, so I when I was playing in Hamilton Junior B, when I was in midget, I got called up to the Junior B Falcons, and that coach was the same coach, Dan Fitzgerald. Um, the next year he was the Brantford 99ers Junior A coach when I was in Junior B. So he called me up again. We have a pretty good little relationship, believe it or not, even though my team's rivals with his, and we've had a lot of rough games against each other this year. But the transition was it wasn't too bad. Junior hockey, Junior B and Junior A, they're both very competitive leagues, very physical leagues. I honestly feel like Junior A was easier to play in a sense because Junior B was a lot more, I would say, sloppy, and it's a less systematic game. It's more hit and run. Whereas Junior A, I find every level you go up, it's a little bit more controlled, skilled, and smart. So it's easier to play. I'm a skilled, smart player. So it's like, yeah, I like going up and play. I feel like I play better at higher levels, to be honest. So it wasn't too bad of a transition.
Well, like you said, a divisional rival with Brantford, Oakville, Burlington, especially when you play in those Halton rivalries with, like I said, you guys, Oakville Blades, the Burlington Cougars, and the Georgetown Raiders. Let's just talk about that for a second. What's it like playing in those Battle of Haltons with like all these other teams?
Yeah, it's crazy. This year the way COVID made it, we had to play the same team around sometimes 10 times, I guess, this year, which it's been a crazy experience because as much as it's regular season, we were in December saying, hey guys, like this is a playoff game. Like we need these 2 points. Like they're in our division. And if it's a 4-point game in a sense, if we win, we get the 2 points. If we lose, they get the 2 points. So it's it's been a crazy cool experience, like being able to play a whole regular season where it's all meaningful hockey. Every game counts, and especially a team trying to win it all this year. Like you can't take a night off, and I think that it's going to help us really get ready for the playoffs this year, playing all those meaningful hockey games in such a close division.
Right. And let's just talk about you for a second, because last year, or that COVID year where you guys had that 2019-20 where the season was canceled and that stuff, you had 23 points in 52 games. This year, you currently have 57 points in 46 games, including you also went on a 5-game point streak for a bit as well. And does that streak still continue? Last time, or when?
Yeah, so it's weird. Sometimes they mess up the assists here and there. I think I'm on a 10-game point streak right now, just because that Collingwood game, I had an assist that they haven't, I guess, fixed yet. But I'm currently riding a 10-game point streak. But I mean, that doesn't happen without the great team that you're on. It's hard to accomplish things like that without great teammates. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not wrong there. You guys are you guys are all the lines. I think you guys all have a depth line and everything you guys have from first line all the way down to the fourth line. But let's just continue on quickly with that thing. Was there anything you worked on during the offseason that helped you get to this point of leading the Milton Menace and also sitting in second, I believe still, or in OJ goals and that stuff?
yeah, for sure. It's a mix of things, really. When you're trying to improve your game, it doesn't matter the sport. There's a physical side and there's a mental side of it. And then there's also details of your sport specifically. So I tried to get into each of those categories in a sense where physically I was working out so much. I naturally just got faster and stronger on pucks, which helps you a lot, win races, win battles. It just makes sure that you have the puck more in a hockey game. Details I worked on was mainly shooting and scoring, which has heavily paid off. Just things like working at a goalie school, you're always shooting on goalies. I work at a shooting, I guess it's called the shoot house. I work at it in Hamilton, and I'm teaching people how to shoot, and I'm staying after and working on my own shot. So I guess shooting, And then my physical part of my game improved immensely. And then just the mental side of the game was just making sure I have confidence going into the season, confidence in my game, confidence in my strength.
Right on. And I just want to update that. Yeah, it's fourth right now for you in goal scoring. You're in the top 5 right now for goals, which is really still an impressive feat for you. So still congratulations on finishing in the top 5 right now. And hopefully that still continues on for this season and that stuff going forward.
For sure. Thank you.
So let's just talk again. Let's go back to the team. Milton has won 4 of their last 5. Your last loss coming against Pickering in overtime. You guys still don't trail Burlington by a tight race for 4th. And both of you are both clinched for a playoff spot right now as we speak. What has been going right for the team this year or this season and going forward right now?
You know what? Everyone started buying in. I think we made a couple good moves at the deadline, and everyone's hungry. Everyone wants it. We have such a good lineup that wins are almost coming naturally now. We're not blowing. I think we matured a lot too. Like, we would blow a lot of leads at the start of the year. Like, we lost a lot of games we shouldn't have. But I think that with our leadership and our mature hockey team, I think all the young guys, like, we basically have 2 years of rookies because of COVID. So I think with that, you got a lot of young guys that are still adjusting to junior. And I think by halfway through the year, they have adjusted. So now we do have a full team that's fully adjusted to junior A hockey. Everyone's bought into the system that Dan Delmonte placed, and now we're just rolling with it. And once you realize that his systems work, everyone's got confidence to listen to coach and keep doing our thing. So I think everything's going good right now. Just everyone's got a lot of confidence, and we have a lot of belief in this group.
And sticking on the topic of that first and second battle between you and Holden rivals, the Burlington Cougars, you got going forward with the game you have, especially tomorrow against Stouffville, and how important that could be closing the gap more. What do you think the strategy and game plan is for that game, and also continuing going forward with all the games you still have coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, before every game, like, we just go over our Menace identity, and it's just speed, tenacity. As long as we bring our effort level every night, as long as we bring more effort than the other team, like, I think we're going to come away with the 2 points. The team we have on paper, as long as everyone shows up and knows that they have to work hard and do their job and buy in, as long as we're bought in, I mean, we should be getting the 2 points every night here.
So let's talk about you now and your future, because recently you committed to the University of Ryerson to play for the Rams in the OUA. First of all, let's talk about what made you choose Ryerson as the place to not just continue your hockey career, but also continue your academics.
Yeah, for sure. I had a couple options in U Sports that I could have went to, and it's funny enough that during COVID, while I was training, I was kind of searching up a bunch of guys and kind of visualizing, like, where am I going to play after this season? A huge goal of mine was just to make sure it wasn't going to be my last season, which is what drove me so hard in the off season, along with wanting to win a championship. But so Ryerson was actually the first team that reached out to me. And it was just funny enough that that was the team during the off season, during COVID, that I was thinking of, I would really want to go to. I have a buddy there, Jackson Doherty, and I kind of looked into the program. The hockey program is just amazing. They're a team and organization that you're not going there to end your hockey career. You're going there in a sense where they want to try to move you on to play pro in Europe. They want to make you play pro even just in North America. They want to move you on, and they want to improve you as a player, which was super appealing to me. So Ryerson reached out, and like I said, like, and they play in Toronto. I think it'd be a super cool living experience. The program that I'll be taking there is sports media, which is going to be super, super fun. I think that was a big thing for me, is I wanted to take something that I would enjoy. But Ryerson, like, they're a top 5 team. I think top 5 or top 10 team in the country right now for hockey, which also is appealing. But no, Ryerson, they play out of the old Maple Leaf Gardens. So it's an unreal facility. They got their own gym there. They're super big on development, and they're a winning hockey team. So it's something that was something I really wanted to be a part of.
And like you mentioned, the old Maple Leaf Gardens, there's a lot of history when it comes with that Gardens, Stanley Cups, basketball for Ryerson, you can name it. It's been there. You know what? It's an amazing thing for you guys too. Like when you go there, you're gonna feel all that history and be like, okay, I'm playing. You could just feel like probably, okay, I'm playing in front of all these fans who probably were also watching the Maple Leafs back when they used to play her. So again, congratulations for
Thank
committing
you.
to Ryerson, and hopefully you score a bunch of goals like you're doing right now in the OJ and help out the team a lot.
Yeah, that's the goal for sure.
So what are some things that you feel you can bring to the Ryerson team for next season?
Well, like I said, like you mentioned before, all the years of hockey, my last 5 years, I've just learned to be valuable. It doesn't matter where I am in the lineup. So my biggest thing is they could put me on the fourth line and I could fill that role and I could go, I can hit and I can run around and be a pain for the other team, or you could put me in first or second line and I think I can really help out offensively. So I mean, for me is I know ice time's earned and I'm just willing to go in there and do whatever I can to earn any ice time I can and help them win games.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen it hit a lot during those Milton games, especially against Brantford. I think the last game I called was I saw a bunch of hits come from you in that game. So you can definitely hit, and I think Ryerson would really love a guy like that too.
For sure.
The second part is every player has something they can improve on. Do you find there's anything still going to Ryerson next season that you feel you can still improve on for the team?
Yeah, for sure. I went to watch them play, and I think the biggest thing that I'm going to focus on this offseason is getting even stronger and even faster. That league, the strength goes up. I mean, guys are up to 26 years old in that league. So I need to make sure that, I'm a stronger guy in the league I'm in now, and I want to make sure I can be a strong guy in that league as well. So I think strength will be my biggest thing that I'm going to work on this offseason.
So let's just focus on this league that you're currently in, and we can maybe you could say, is there anything you could take from the OJHL that possibly could help you out in the OUA with Ryerson?
Yeah, like the OJHL is a super competitive league. There's a couple guys there's a couple guys probably per team that are in U Sports now coming from the OJHL. And like I said, it's a competitive league. I think the biggest thing will be honestly the run that we have in the playoffs. I think I haven't been in the playoffs since my junior B year. So that's part of the game that I want to develop. I mean, I live for the playoffs. Like I've only been able to do it. Like obviously in minor hockey, you always got to play in the playoffs, and that was my favorite time of the year. So I think playing in the OJHL in the regular season, I mean, it's good hockey. And, I developed my game a lot in the OJHL to get ready for the next level. Just working on things, just small hockey details throughout the last 2 years, just simplifying your game, moving pucks quick. So I'm going to carry that over into U Sport hockey.
And my last question for you, Holden, is what are some pieces of advice you can give to younger kids, maybe even younger adults, maybe 20-year-olds like at your age, who want to continue to follow in something that you're doing, going to the OUA or even just playing in the OJHL right now?
Yeah, just don't give up. I didn't get drafted in the OHL draft. And then, you know what, I saw a couple guys go that I thought I was maybe better than, and I was like, you know what, like, okay, I'm going to work my butt off this offseason. I'm going to make sure I get drafted in the midget draft because it was the second year that was happening. And it was between me and a couple other guys to get drafted to my hometown in Hamilton. And I ended up not being one of those guys. And then I was kind of like, okay, now I'm going to work my butt off this season. I'm going to try to make it as a free agent. I was one of the last cuts with the Niagara Ice Dogs. And honestly, right. And then I went to Milton, and then halfway through that year, I wasn't having a very good year. And then Dan Del Monte stepped in and kind of regained my confidence. I almost quit hockey. I kind of fell out of love with the game, but I think the biggest thing was just don't give up, just keep pushing through. And no, from there on in, you just got to keep working hard, and everything you want will happen. You just got to keep working hard.
Well, Holden, a great story right there. And thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. Hopefully they take those words and never give up on their dreams. Holden, again, thank you so much for joining me today on this interview. I really do appreciate chatting with you, and hopefully we can have you on again in the future.
Oh, I love that. This is my first podcast. It's kind of exciting. I like doing stuff like this. So anytime you want to chat with me, I'd love to.
Awesome. We would love to have you back on. Guys, Holden Rogers, forward for the Milton Menace. And I forgot to also mention in the intro, assistant captain for Milton as well.
Yeah.
I'm Cameron Capobianco. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.